Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Musical People and Journeys, the rock show! Welcome, I'm your host Nigel, and welcome to today's crew, William, Ian, Trish, and Simon!
Good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So, welcome back, Ian. Ian's been sojourning with various different things like cruises and all sorts of other things, but good to see his voice, even though his thumb is covering his face. But, you know, hey, that's usual stuff, really. But there we go. Anyway, so what is today's show? We are reviewing two brand new albums, and they are PowerWolf and Angus McSix, and they're going to go head-to-head. Which album would we... dun 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 buy? And further ado, what are we going to give it for our listening pleasure? That's right, we give ratings out of 5 for our listening pleasure, and if they go over, that's right, 5, and when they go over, if they go over the golden 20, they will get inducted into our Hall of Fame. Oh yes, maybe even get shortlisted for Album of the Year. Oh, crack on. Right, so who are PowerWolf? Well, obviously you'll notice that some people know who they are, but maybe you don't. So, who are PowerWolf? PowerWolf is a German power metal, a band founded in 2003 in Saarbrücken by members of Red Aim. The band consists of vocalist Carsten Brill as Attila Dorn, lead guitarist Benjamin Buss, I think that's pronounced it, as Matthew Greywolf, bassist rhythm guitarist David Voigt as Charles Greywolf, keyboardist Christian Jost as Volk Maria Schnilligel, is that how you pronounce it? Well, it was close, and drummer Roel van Helden. The group uses religious themes and images contrary to traditional power metal music, as well as corpse paint, gothic tinge compositions and songs about werewolf and vampire legends. They released their first debut album, Return in Blood Red, in 2005. Their second album, Lupus Day, released in 2007. The band entered the official German chart for the first time in 2009 with their third album, Bible of the Beast. And shortly after this release, the first drummer, Stefan Gambala, stage name Stefan Funbre, left the band. He was replaced by Tom Dana, who was replaced in 2011. There's a lot of drummer replacement going on here, by Roel van Helden. Maybe he's some relation. Anyway, so Roel came back. That's what I'm reading here. In the same year, the band released their fourth album, Blood in Saints, in 12, and then they signed for Napalm, released Preachers of the Night, sixth album, Blessed and Possessed. You go on. We're here. We're today. Ninth album. Interludium was released in 2003, which is what we're reviewing. However, Interludium is like 3 discs. No way we're reviewing 3 discs. So we are reviewing the first disc. Now, the reason for that is because my PowerWolf aficionados tell me that there are 6 brand new releases on disc 1. Is that right, Simon?
Well, there's 6 new tracks and 4 old tracks that have been resurrected from the archives.
Excellent. Right, well, let's talk about PowerWolf. Well, we have to go with the guy with the PowerWolf t-shirt on, really. So let's start with you then, Simon. I mean, you are, and I know Will is as well, PowerWolf aficionados. How did this stack up? Did you enjoy this album? Was it another glorious interludium for you?
So my review is going to be short, sweet and super biased because I'm clearly a big PowerWolf fan, and even though there are only 6 new tracks, they are unabashedly what PowerWolf does best. Big riffs, cheesy Latin lyrics, and just unrelenting power metal fun. Sainted by the Storm has a really catchy, joyful chorus. I love it. Wolfborn has a fast-paced organ that I can't help but drum along to. And come on, Altars of Fire has bagpipes in it. How can you not love power metal bagpipes? Unashamedly, I absolutely love this. 16 tracks are great. The 4 resurrected tracks are really good. They're nice stuff to bring up from the archives. And obviously, it is Interludium. It's the other discs are well worth listening to if you ever get around to it. But yeah, I love it.
Right. Well, Will, PowerWolf fan, what do you think?
I myself, shockingly, have also bias, and also have this
similar love with Simon. How crazy! Basically, like Simon said, these 10 tracks from this first half, well, this first third of the album are honestly phenomenal. Being able to have singles and old ones like Sainted by the Storm in a full album with all these new tracks is just wonderful. Again, Sainted by the Storm is such a fantastic track. We saw them live in London back in November, and they played this. It was the entire stadium just went absolutely wild for it. It was fantastic. This is just them at their best. They know their sound. They know what to do. They know how to get people's attention, and they do it. And they just do it really well. This is just fantastic. And I know we're not reviewing the other parts, but I'm just saying that the disc 2 is also peak song, all covers by the bands. If you happen to have a spare 4 minutes 15 seconds, listen to Fire and Forgive, the Electric Callboy cover. Just saying, fantastic stuff. But this is a great album. It's them doing what they do best.
Wow, Ian, PowerWolf, have they come across your radar in the past? I mean, I know that we're all on a journey, and power metal is kind of been certainly focused on us recently. But what did it do for you? What did you think of PowerWolf?
PowerWolf, I have not come across before, and that's quite surprising because this is totally the type of power metal I love, without a shadow of doubt. This is their 9th album, and also it's their 20th anniversary, I believe, as well as their 20th year. Obviously we were specifically asked to look out for the main album, the first album, not the rest of the deluxe givings that are on there. And I describe this as heavy power metal for me, with lashings of double bass pedaling on the drum, a myriad of delicious guitar hooks and riffs, and it's a very definite sound, and that's consistent throughout the whole album. And I love the subtle variety you find within that. The tracks that have been mentioned, I totally agree with. I also love, and to describe that subtle variety, the difference between My Will Be Done, which for me resonated quite, I like that, and Bête de Gévaudan, isn't it? Yeah. And very different sounding, yet totally from within the same ilk. And I agree with, I think it was Simon that said, they know what they're doing. And they do it well, 100%. I absolutely love this, and I know that if I can just, hopefully you don't mind me mentioning this, Nigel, but I know you're not a great fan of songs in a non-English language, and Bête de Gévaudan is the beast of Gévaudan, and the lyrics in that are absolutely fantastic. Really, really good. So I cannot wait to listen to the other two incantations of the other disc, especially the orchestral version. That I'm really looking forward to listening to. But I have deliberately not listened to the other two yet, just so that I'm only swayed by this one post. But absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, Trish! Bit of PowerWolf.
Hi.
Did it sink its claws into you, my friend? My rock queen, chick goddess.
Well, the album starts off full throttle in true PowerWolf style with big riffs and the lead singer's growly vocals. I absolutely love the fist pumping Sainted by the Storm, which reminded me a bit of Sabaton as well. The album is infectious and you can't listen to it without having a smile on your face. That being said, I think I was spoilt by having already listened to their previous album, Sacrament of Sin, which is absolutely, you can't describe that album. So having this up against that, I felt it didn't bring anything extra new to the PowerWolf table, but this album will thrill fans who are going to love this and know exactly what they're getting in true PowerWolf style.
Cool. So guys, you've taken me on a power. You've taken me on a power metal journey. Okay, you guys, since we started doing this, really introduced me, to power metal and to the absolute delights of, symphonic power metal as well, which I think is kind of my leaning towards, and the likes of Sabaton, and we've reviewed some amazing, bands over the last 2 years in this powerful genre. So I bet every time we talk, it's like Sabaton and PowerWolf. So I was so excited to listen to this album based on everything you've taught me, and you have taught me, and you have led me down a wonderful journey about embracing the wonderful thing is power metal. I just don't get it, guys. I really just don't get this. I really do not. I mean, you can imagine the conversation if I did a bit of role play between the vocalist and the band going, "Oh, it was a good song that. Oh, it's really good. That was, it's really good." And it was first time. Hey, how about I sing a bit of Latin? Yeah. I tell you what. How about we put this riff to it? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, brilliant. Hey, how about I put some bagpipes in there? That's a great idea. I'll do the same vocals. Wow, why do we think of that? Oh my God, people. It is repetition at its worst. It is, honestly, this is the laziest power metal album I've listened to in the 2 years that we've been doing it. If there was a Sabaton tribute band, right, you go down the pub, this would be it. This would be a Sabaton tribute band, because the vocalist was basically just a rip-off of Sabaton. How you could compare the brilliant lyricism of Sabaton and the musicality and the glorious ups and downs and where it takes you to this pile of shite, I really cannot fathom it. Honestly, it is awful. It is the laziest power metal album that I have listened to in the 2 years. And believe me, I even went back and listened to it 2 more times to go, was I in a bad mood that day? Was I not in the right frame of mind? Or whatever it was. And I went back and listened to it 2 more times. And it was the same thing. Honestly, we have learned that some of the new bands that have come in through are so much technically better than these guys. Honestly, vocally, musically, yes, there was some little bit of highlights. Yes, and I don't mind foreign songs. I do like the Latin side of things. I thought that was quite clever. But it was the same song. But it was just the same musicality and the same rhythm and the same pitch, just with Latin songs in it. Honestly, just dreadful. Dreadful. Is it
because the last song was French, Nigel? It really was.
Yeah, well, no, but there was also, he was doing some Latin. I think it's on track number 2 that he was doing some Latin stuff in there as well. But just genuinely terrible power metal album. Lazy, amateurish at very best, in my opinion, guys.
You feel better for that?
I do. I've exercised my. I just don't get it. I mean, there was so much more better power metal bands out there in the last 2 years than this pile of junk. Honestly, really was. Sorry, Ian, you're on mute, mate.
Sorry, so my apologies. The first time I listened to it, my thinking was similar to yours, Nigel. It really was. I was like, well, this is all the same, and blah, 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 blah. And after I'd listened to a few of the other albums and then came back to this, I don't know whether because, without giving any spoilers at all, there's some similar themes going on throughout some of the other albums. I then came back and listened to this, almost like with different viewpoint, and then that's why the subtle differences is the subtle variety that I think makes this a really good album. There are some songs that are wildly different, but there is that overarching theme that is very solid throughout. But I love that. I think it's
a wet fucking fish, mate. To be honest with you.
And you're perfectly entitled to your wrong opinion.
And it is just my opinion. I mean, and we've come back to some other.
No, it is opinions.
Well, we're reviewing this month, 4 other power metal, where the symphonic power metals, and out of the 4, this was, in my opinion, the worst. I was just generic. It was just, honestly, if you pitch these up against Sabaton, well, there's just no debate. And you know how much I love Sabaton, and Sabaton are just, in comparison, a phenomenon, a tour de force in comparison to this lot. I just don't know. Maybe, and as you know, I don't go back, so I have not listened to the Saints and the albums that you mentioned earlier. Maybe I need to go back there as well, but I don't know. Just nothing for me. Absolutely nothing for me. But anyway, who are they up against then? Well, let's find out, because they are up against Angus McSix. Who is Angus McSix? So, Thomas Laszlo Winkler, I mean, I'm going to say Happy Days as you will, I can't resist, is a Swiss singer. He is known for being vocalist power metal band, and Angus McSix was former vocalist of symphonic power metal band Glory Hammer in 2011 to 21, playing roles as Angus MacFife, Prince of the Land of Fife, and his descendants Angus MacFife the 13th, in the band's Eternal Story. In July 2022, Thomas announced that he would be returning to music making, and he signed with Napalm Records under his new act, Angus McSix. On October 2022, the full lineup for Angus McSix was announced, with Winkler being joined by Thiela Belazaka, formerly Frozen Crown, Manu Lotter, formerly Rhapsody of Fire, and Sebastian Leverman of Oden Ogan, who will represent characters in the story concept that appears in costume. As the band's first single, Master of the Universe, was released on the 19th of 2023. Simultaneously, the announcement of the debut solo album, Angus McSix and the Sword of Power, was released on April of 2023. Two more singles were released in support of the album, Sixcalibur and Laser Shooting Dinosaur. Dun dun dun, loser! I mean, come on, shooting laser dinosaurs. Will, talk to me about Angus McSix.
All I'm saying is, here I come, drop your jaws to the floor, because I'm riding on my mighty laser dinosaur. Oh my god. This is fun. I love this so much. I am so glad this album now exists, because this is the kind of insane, goofy shit that I live for. It is crazy. It's a man running on space, fighting goblins with his massive sword while riding dinosaurs and lasers. What more do you want, to be honest, from an album? It's got a fun story, it's got fun themes. I personally think he has a fantastic voice, because it's the thing I like, because the thing I really dislike of a lot of power metal is you'll have these like pristine high-pitched notes. Look how high I can go with my voice. Oh, my voice is so perfect and high. I really don't like that of a lot of power metal, because it's just, that is generic power metal shit when it's up. But he's got like that rasp to his voice. Like it adds so much more personality to the music for me, and I really like it. And you know, what other band and artist has songs like Star of the Six Stellar Systems and Only a Fool Will Play Tricks on Angus McSix? Fantastic rhyme. And obviously the laser shooting dinosaurs. I love this. I had so much fun listening to this the about 24 times that I have this month, at least. And I can't tell you how many times I've listened to Laser Shooting Dinosaur. It's got a fun little synth. It's fun little like synthy stuff, good guitar, good drums. This is just really fun. I love it. Fun times.
Cool.
I had by all.
Oh, okay. Well, let's swiftly move on to Ian then. Ian, a bit of Angus McSix then. How did you enjoy this guy riding through space on a laser shooting dinosaur?
So I was hooked in straight away. Everyone knows I love musicals. Six is my favourite musical. It's got Six in the title. I'm hooked straight away before I heard or seen or done anything. Completely hooked. Not going to lie. But that wasn't misplaced. I loved this album. Absolutely love this album. This is a concept album. It's telling a story, and this is the first instalment of the story. It tells the story of Prince Angus, who is vanquished in battle against the goblin kind. Realising that he's been vanquished, he realises that where he's come from is still in danger. So this is telling the story of him getting back to Earth or back to Scotland. Their Caledonia is where they've chosen. I thought they were a Scottish band. No, it turns out they're Swiss, German, and from anywhere but Scotland. But they've used Caledonia. So this says there's more to come. Awesome. And by the sounds of it, Will's going to be looking forward to that as well. I described this as power metal and then thought, no, that does not do it justice. It is delectable, thumping, foot stomping, trashy power metal is what it is, without a shadow of doubt. It's cheesy and would probably win Eurovision while retaining its dignity. Thomas Winkler, there was something about it, and then I realised and read up, he was part of the collaboration that brought us Val Hallelujah. What an awesome cheese fest of metal that is. So I absolutely love this. This was fantastic. Ride to Hell, if you want an example of just something that typifies this album, my description of Eurovision and the whole the delectable thumping thing, I think Ride to Hell does that. And absolutely, I'm going to give an honourable mention to Laser Shooting Dinosaur. I mean, knowing how much you love fantasy and role-playing night, I'd say that these themes are totally what you like as well. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to finding out whether that's the case or not. But yeah, I absolutely love this. Oh my good Lord, how do you choose between these two? I have no idea.
Right, Trish. Moving on then, Trish. What about Angus McSix?
Yeah, for me it was easy to choose because this is an all cheesy power metal fest. It gives you the sense of fun, joy in each of the songs. It's full of energy and has many energetic moments, especially with Masters of the Universe. The songwriting, storytelling and the musicality works together really well. It's delivered with passion in a light-hearted way, and it's some fresh new power metal I've been introduced into in a while.
Ooh, okay. Positivity so far. Simon? Now, actually, Simon, you were on my shoulder when I couldn't decide about my lineup, and Angus McSix was on that borderline, and then you told me a little bit about background about Angus McSix, and he obviously was straight in. So, was that a good decision, Simon, to put Angus McSix in up against the mighty PowerWolf?
So when power metal goes cheesy, I do find it a bit hard to review because it's supposed to be a bit silly. There's a lot of fun and joy in this album, and Winkler's vocals never fail to impress on every track. But I must say that there is a very heavy reliance on the vocals and the keyboard, and there's not enough time spent showcasing the guitars and drums for my liking in all the tracks. But there's loads of catchy stuff in there, like Masters of the Universe, of course, Laser Shooting Dinosaurs, Ride to Hell. I really like Amazons of Caledonia. It's got a little bit of a balladiness to it, so it's quite nice. And I can already hear them playing Star-Lord of the Six Stellar Systems at every single live show just to hear them chanting Angus. Overall, I really enjoyed the album. It was fun. They're going to slip in a little, though. I'm not sure it's separated quite enough from Glory Hammer yet, though. So, and I do love Glory Hammer.
Hammer got a new album next month, so we'll be able to sell. We'll be able to see, won't we? So, interesting. Okay, sorry. Is that it? Yep. So,
yeah. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. My apologies. Okay, so. First of all, the good point about this, its pitch is variation, and I compare it to PowerWolf. Hey, there's a hell of a lot of imagination going in this one. There's a hell of a lot of variety and a hell of a lot of pitch, and there are some cool songs, there's some cool riffs, and it was a fun, enjoyable album. It was fun. It was an enjoyable album. My problem is when I get into the power metal, where there's a concept and stuff, I like part of the journey for me into power metal is where I can I can get into that world and to be absorbed into that world. You know, I mean, Sabaton have gone off in different directions. I mentioned Sabaton because they've gone more down the historic one, and you can kind of feel where you're in there. But other albums that we've had, like Fellowship and other great stuff, and the Pirates, I can immerse myself through the lyricisms of that universe. I struggled with this, even though I like fantasy. I struggled to immerse myself to be it believable, because that's the way I think I've been over the last 2 years with my power metal. Because of the bands that have emerged and that we've come out, I find not only the musicality but immersing myself in the lyrics and in that universe. And I struggled with this one. I struggled to actually go, oh, well, come on, it's a power metal, it's a blinking laser shooting dinosaur. So therefore I couldn't really immerse myself into that universe, and also the cheese was too much for me. You know, Excalibur, I mean, come on, I mean, and so it annoyed me. I started to get a little bit annoyed by it, because there was, and I do like a bit of cheese, but I thought it was way too much cheese for me. But musically, thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought it was really cool. Thought it was really imaginative, and I agree with Simon. I thought it lent more towards sometimes a bit more synthy than I think is right. But however, I will give credit where credit due. At least he was trying to vary it up, and I can't compare to Glory Hammer in that regard. But you know, at least he was trying to do something a little bit different and not trying to copy every other artist out there, or for example, the same song and the same tempo and the same musicality right the way through, who we obviously mentioned on that one. So, fun, enjoyable album, great musicality. I would actually be more, and we talked about this with some other bands like Baby Metal and stuff, I would jump at the chance to see them live. I think that would be such an entertaining show, and I would pay good money to go and watch them live, rather than buy the album. I'd rather put the 20 quid to a ticket to go and watch them live. It's not an album that I'm going to be constantly listening to, but it was good and it was fun. But yeah, so who is going to possibly win this battle then between PowerWolf? Let's find out our ratings. Remember, if they get over 20, they get into our Hall of Fame, and if they and will they also get shortlisted for our albums of the year? So let's start off then with Simon. PowerWolf, Simon.
Oh, it's going to be a 5. Come on.
Well, no, not really, but you know. Okay, Will, PowerWolf.
5.
5. Ian.
Gave it 4.5 out of 5.
And Trish.
3.
3. 2 for me, I'm afraid to say. It just was one of those things. Sorry, guys, but anyway, 10, 14.
Say 2 then, Nigel.
2, yeah.
2
for me, yeah. I mean, you know, there were some good bits in there, but it was just the first song, and they just played the same song again with some bit of variety in it. So.
You're never allowed to critique me for giving a low score again after this day.
Well, I mean, absolutely. I never critique you. I'm shocked sometimes, but I never critique you. I never tell you that your opinion is worthless. I just go, my God, you cannot be serious. You know, now you know how I feel sometimes.
How did Volbeat get high votes, but this didn't? Outrageous.
You what? Sorry.
How did Volbeat get high votes, but this hasn't?
Well,
this is the true outrage.
Each are different, aren't they? So 5, 10, 15, 19 and a half. I mean, it's still a good score. Still a good score. It doesn't quite reach out to our Hall of Fame, but it's still a good score. Okay, Angus McSix and the Sword of Power. Simon.
Sure. Let's go for a cheeky 4.
4. So you're going to go for the PowerWolf album. Will.
Also 5.
5.
But
which one? I think I know. But which one were you going to buy, Will? Which one?
Again.
I think in terms of being fair, I've got about 4 PowerWolf albums, and I've seen them live, so it should be Angus to... No, they're new. They need the money more than PowerWolf.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So one apiece.
What if you electrical? If it was electrical, it'd be them.
Angus McSix wins it for Will. Ian.
So I gave Angus McSix 5.
Yeah.
I would have given both 5, but it comes down to one of my criteria is, would I go and see them live? Yes, I would see both. If someone said they're playing on the same night, quality venue, which would you choose? For me, it would be Angus McSix. That is the 0.5 difference.
Nice.
But when PowerWolf turned up on stage with dual flamethrowers.
If one was supporting the other, whichever way round that was, or on the same bill, I'd be in my element, 100%. But I would choose the cheesy power metal.
Okay, 2 flamethrowers, unlike Sabaton, whose stage? The whole stage!
Oh yeah, they did the whole stage as
PowerWolf
well.
also set the whole stage on fire as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Trish.
4.
4. Angus McSix has got it. Got a 3 from me. So yeah, okay. So I think that's going to get into the Hall of Fame. I think it has, guys. So 14, 18, 21 for Angus McSix. Congratulations, welcome to the Hall of Fame, Angus McSix. Well done. It wouldn't have got on if it was on the other stage. If it was on the other crew, let's put it that way. But here we go. Okay. Why? What? Well, controversy galore here. Will's not going to talk to me for another week or so. I've got to give lots of hugs at work. Anyway, so thank you very much. What a brilliant show. Thank you to my wonderful crew here today, and congratulations to Angus McSix. Both albums got a great rating though, so can't complain too badly on that one. So well done, everybody. So thanks for joining us. Please like and subscribe our channel. Our viewer numbers are growing, and we really appreciate it. And keep it coming. And we'll see you guys for the next show. Keep on rocking. Thanks to my crew, to Ian, to Trish, to Simon, and to Will. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.